Hello, it's Lou, and today I'm going to be doing not a book haul, but more like a book declutter of books I don't really want anymore. So obviously this is my bookshelf. Yep, that's my bookshelf. Those are all the books we will be sorting out. So I'll be starting from bottom layer, going all the way to the top layer. And yeah, let's get on to it. Right, so I've got all my bottom shelf out. These are the books I've got. So first book is Super Awkward by Beth Jared, I don't know. But it's like a teen book. Now, I don't want this book, but I just want to do I don't want this book. It's not my type of book anymore. So I'm gonna declutter this one. Lovely. Next one is Pet Cemetery. I love Stephen King books. They are one of my favourite type of books. So I'm definitely keeping that one. Next one is The Demon Headmaster Strikes Again. I don't really want this book because it's a bit boring. I prefer the film edition of it. Yes, that one's getting decluttered. Bend It Like Beckham. This one I'm keeping just because it's a film and I love the film of it, and I'm yet to read this actually. But yeah, it looks good, I'm guessing. Next one is another Stephen King one, Just After Sunset. I've not read this one yet, but it looks good. Lovely. Then we have The Shining by Stephen King, obviously. I love The Shining. It's one of my favourite films. So hopefully the book is as good as the film. Keeping that one. Then we have the sequel to The Shining, which is Doctor Sleep. I've seen the film, I sort of liked it, but I hope the book is actually better. Yes, so I'm keeping that one. Then we have, obviously, It. I've read that much of the book. Yep. But I love the films to this. The films are so good, and the book's alright. It's just very long-winded, but I want to read it all sometime in the near future. Then we have The Institute by Stephen King again. I've not read it yet, so I don't really know what it's about, but it's a thriller, and yeah, hopefully that's good. Then we have The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I got this from a book market, and it was £1 this book was. So yeah, I've not read it yet, but I mean it sounds very like Lord of the Rings type stuff. Then the next one is Wizard and Glass Again, I've not read this one. This was £2.25 in the market, which was fun. Not read this one yet, obviously. Yeah. I hope these ones are good because I will really want to read them, but it's just if I like them, that's the question. Then we have Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King again. This is like a crime thriller one. I like these type of books, but I've not read it yet because I haven't got the second one in the series, which I need because I'm a quick reader. But yeah, not read that one. So the third one in that series, End of Watch, I haven't got that. I've also got this one from the book market as well for £2.25. Again, not read that. Oh, it says Donald Trump in it. Didn't know that. Yeah. So this is the third book. Like the second book is Finders Keepers. I haven't got that one yet, but I really want it so I can read them books. Yes. And then the last Stephen King book I have is Sleeping Beauties. I mean, that's a chunky book that I haven't read it yet because, I mean, it's that big. I'm scared to read it. Like, I won't like it. This one, yeah. I mean, the way it's described on like the description of it sounds creepy, which sounds fun, but I don't really, want to read it yet. Then we have The Long Earth by Terry Pratchett and Stephen Baxter. Now, this one I also got from the market. It was £2.95. I've not read it yet because like science fiction isn't my type of thing like this. I like sci-fi, but it's this type of sci-fi I don't like. It's a bit boring in my eyes. But yeah, I want to eventually read it, give it a try, see if I like it. If I don't, then that'll be a problem. And now we have the books I refuse to read because I've watched the films first, which is a mistake. Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I can't read it, no idea why. But apart from the fact I've watched the films first and the films are amazing, I just can't read the books. But yeah, this one has like red. Yeah. Lovely. I do want to try reading them though. Don't know how that'll work out, but then we have New Moon, obviously by the same person. Yeah. My favourite in this series of Twilight is definitely the last one, which I'll get to in a minute. But next we have Eclipse. This one was my second favourite one out of all the books because I just liked the like plot and stuff to it. Yes, so that one's good. Obviously my favourite character out of all Twilight is Alice because like she's very like, she's cool, like she's one of the cool ones. Breaking Dawn, this is my favourite one. Obviously it's a hardback. I don't know where the dust cover's gone to it. I've lost it. But yeah, it's again big chunky book. That's probably another reason why I didn't want to read it. But I'm going to eventually, just don't know when I'm going to read it. Yeah. So out of the bottom level, we have two books I'm getting rid of, that one and this one. Lovely. Next layer. Right, we are on to the second level now, and this is like a load of horror books, which I absolutely love horror books. First one is Point Horror the R.L. Stine Special Edition. It's got 3 books in one, which this one I read it all in a day because I loved it. It's hardback obviously, but it's all of like the babysitter books. One of my favourite ones. I'm definitely keeping this because it comes with a little bookmark thing in it. I just lost my page. I didn't think of that. Oh well. Yeah, but that book I'm definitely keeping. It's one of my favourite books. Love it. Next one is Fun House. I haven't read this one yet, but it's by Diane Ho. Is it Ho or Ho? I'm going with Ho or Hoff. I don't know which one. I haven't read it yet. I want to read it, just don't know when. This one is My Secret Admirer by Carol Ellis. Ellis? No clue again. This one was such a good book. I love it. It's like, yeah, I love horror books. Like if I get horror books, I'll just love them, cherish them. Like Fatal Secrets. This one wasn't one of my favourites because it took me forever to read. I was that bored of it. Like, it's kind of not a big book, but it's a big book for the mind. But I'll keep it because I love horror books. The Window by, again, Carol Ellis. This one was good. Like, I loved this one. Yeah. Then we have The Train by Diane Ho. Again, haven't read this one yet, but I want to, just don't know when. Then we have Teacher's Pet by Richie Tankersley Cusick. This one was an alright one. I just got a bit bored halfway through it. Like, again, it's a big book. Then we have The Boyfriend by R.L. Stine. This one was good, but like I just found like it a bit too like mocking almost. Yeah, it wasn't my favourite one, I'll be honest. 13 More Tales of Horror by a load of people. It's got 13, unlucky number already, 30 small tales of horror stories, which I haven't read this book yet because chunky, but yeah, hope that one's good because I'll read it soon. The Cemetery by D.A. Atkins. This one is called The Cemetery obviously, but people also call it The Ripper, which no clue why, but yeah, it's alright I suppose. The Mummy. This one took me forever to read, wasn't my favourite, bit boring in all honesty, by Barbara Steiner. Didn't like it. Call Waiting by R.L. Stine. I love R.L. Stine. I haven't read this one yet though, which I really do want to read, so hopefully that'll be good. Beach House, again, R.L. Stine. I loved this one. It was so good. Like, it kept flipping back and forth because it's like set in the same place, around the same plot and stuff, same thing happening again. It was so good. I loved it. The Yearbook by Peter Larangis. This one took me a long time to read. Not because it was bad, but because it was like very long-winded and very like confusing for me. I was like, yeah, Trick or Treat by, again, Richie Tankersley Cusick. This was good, but it was a bit like slow, if you get what I mean. Like, yeah, it's very slow. The Waitress by Sinclair Smith. This was alright. Not my favourite one, because it's a bit boring. But, yeah, obviously not the best one. Crazy for You. This one was my first point horror book I read. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favourite ones. So it's about like this stalker who's stalking this girl called Abby, and it's amazing stuff. The plot twist at the end, wasn't expecting it. This one, Halloween Night by another R.L. Stein one. That's funny. I haven't read this one yet. Don't know why I haven't read this one yet, but yeah, I should read it eventually. Lovely. April Fools. This one was alright. Again, bit boring, bit slow reading. Yeah, can't really say much good about that one. Camp Fear. I loved it. It reminded me a bit of like I don't know, it just reminded me of something. Like, yeah, it was, I loved it. Loved it, yeah. And then the last point horror book I have is The Dead Game. Now, I used to always take this book into high school and just read it. That's why it looks so like battered and bruised. Like, yeah, one of my favourite books ever. Love it. 10 out of 10 for this book. Then we have Goosebumps books. So first we have Goosebumps Horrorland, Dr. Maniac versus Robbie Schwartz. Again, haven't read it. Don't know if I want to really. Sounds boring for me, but yeah, we can give it a try. Again, haven't read it, but it's the Scream of the Haunted Mask. Don't know if I want to read that one again. Sounds boring. This one is new. I haven't read this one yet, but Planet of the Lawn Gnomes. I don't really like gnomes. They kind of scare me a bit, just in case we move and stuff. But I really want to read this one, like, bad. Then the next one we have is Creep from the Deep. Again, haven't read it. Don't know if I want to read it, but because I don't like water and stuff, it scares me. So yes, next one, Creature Teacher. I haven't read it, but it just reminds me of like that one teacher I hated from like high school and stuff, because like teachers, I absolutely don't like teachers, even though I want to be a teacher or something like that. Yeah, it's very yeah. Next one is Night of the Living Dummy 3. I haven't got 1 or 2, just 3. But this one seems good. Thing is, I don't like dummies or ventriloquism or anything like that. It scares me. I don't like dolls, for starters. They're creepy. But I like Annabelle and Chucky, which is weird. But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling on about random stuff, which isn't book related. Next one is One Day at Horrorland. First Goosebumps book I read. Loved it. Possibly one of my favourites. It was so good. Like, ugh, loved it. 10 out of 10. But when I read it back the other day, I was like, how could I read this? It's so irritating. Because it's just like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like, Come Closer by Sarah Graham. I saw this book on like Book Talk, been recommended, saying, oh, it's a really creepy book, oh, it messed with my head and everything. No, it's not creepy and don't mess with my head, but it's so good. So like, it's about this woman called Amanda who's going through a possession. She's been possessed by a demon, and it shows how she's been possessed all the way through the story, and it's amazing. So it's in her like perspective and stuff. Love it. And then we have obviously the Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love The Hobbit. I read it before actually the other day. It's such a good book. I mean, I prefer the films. A bit bad, but I prefer films. Yeah. Then we have obviously the Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, which means the Lord of the Rings, because that's what this is. It's a very big chunky book, but I can't read these because I've not got the second one again, because I've got The Return of the King, which is the third one, not a second one, so I can't read them because I need the second one first. That's a bit pants, isn't it? Next book. Anyway, My Policeman by Bethan Roberts. Oh, I loved this book. Like, it was so well, and the fact they're making it into like a series and stuff on Amazon, or if they make it into a film, either it's a series or a film, I don't know, but it's so good. Like, I read it all in one or 2 days. Like, it's amazing. Like, I loved it. One of my favourite books I've read. It's 10 out of 10, just 10 out of 10. Love it. Now, the rest of these will all be declutter books, because I'm past my stage of these books. First we have Mia and the Mix, which, yeah, don't like it. But I used to like it, but I'm just past that stage now of liking young kids books. I don't like them anymore. So there's that one. Then there's Emma on Thin Icing. Again, never read it. Yep. Alexis and the Perfect Recipe. Again, don't want to keep it. Then Dancing in My Nudie Pants. Oh yeah, by the way, these ones are by Coco Simon. You can get them like loads of series and stuff. Yeah, anyway. Dancing in My Nudie Pants by Louise Rannison. I've got 2 of these books. I've got Dancing in My Nudie Pants and Knocked Out by My Nunga Nungas. Yeah, I just know. I'm alright, thanks. Then we have a Little Faith. This one was alright, but I just don't want it anymore. Like, it's one of them books where it's like, oh, I don't want it anymore, it's a bit boring. And then we have these books. Geek Girl. I used to love these books. I never used to be able to put them down, but I just don't want them anymore, because I'm past that stage of wanting these books. So I've got Geek Girl and Geek Girl Model Misfit by Holly Small. Yeah, don't want them anymore. Pass them on to people that would like them. So these are the ones I'm decluttering. Over here are the ones I'm keeping. So that's the second story done. Right, we are on to the third story of the book. First we have Divergent, which I've got it the other day. I absolutely loved it. Like, it is so good. Like, you would not understand how good a book can be. I read it all in one day. I started it at 2 o'clock and finished it at 10 o'clock. That's how good it was. Like, the book, like, the first book is my favourite one by far. I loved it. You can tell I loved it because it's like bending in that way. Loved it. One of my favourites. Yeah. Insurgent, which is the second one to Divergent. These were all by Veronica Roth, or Roth. Yeah, Roth. Now, the last 3 books, they weren't as good as the first one, in all honesty. Same with the films. Could have made one and just done them with one. Allegiant, again, wasn't one of my favourites, as you can tell. However, this book, I loved it. It's like the little mini story of 4, which is a character in the other 3 books called Tobias, which is, he is the best character. Him and Triss, like, they are the pair. Like, love them both. Yeah, this one and the first one were my favourites. Yep. And then we have my favourite, one of my favourite books ever, The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Yes. Absolutely love the books. Love the films are my favourite films. Like, I've watched them that many times. I know the whole script to them, which is kind of sad, but I could just read this over and over again. They're so good. So we obviously have Maze Runner 1, then we have Scorch Trials, which is the second one in the series. This one, the film's so much better than the book because it's so much more like, I can understand it more, if you get what I mean. And like, the second one is one I watched all the time until I found out about the third one, which makes me cry. Even a book makes me cry, like The Death Cure. You can tell how much I've read it, like the pages are all falling out. Like, look, pages all falling out. This one is the saddest one. It's probably got a few of my tears on the pages actually. I won't be surprised if it has. Yeah, this one, even though it's the saddest, it's my favourite one, which is messed up, but yeah, one of my favourite ones. Then we have The Kill Order, which is another book. It is the prequel, which I'm not a fan of this one, but I'm waiting for the other 2 books to get them, which is the Fever Code and Crank Palace. But I've not got them yet, but I want them. I need them. I'll have them eventually. Then we have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've read the first book, which is, the first book is the best one in my mind, because I haven't read the others. Because I've read the first book, loved it, started reading the others, didn't like them. So, Hunger Games, yes. Catching Fire, it was alright, not my favourite again. I've watched the films again before reading the books. My mistake, I reckon. Yeah. Then we have Mockingjay. Again, haven't read them. Watched the film first. Probably shouldn't have done. But yeah, I'll probably give them another try just to see if I do like them. If I don't hate me. Now, the next 5 books, yeah, I don't know if people hate me because of them, or if I'm like, oh yes, you've got really good taste, Lauren. After, by Anna Todd. These books are so back and forth, because like, you don't like them, but then you can't put them down, so it's like, yeah. Originally, it was a fan fiction. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I can say. Originally, it was a fan fiction. Sorry, I'm very tired. Yeah. First, it was a fan fiction, then it got changed into, obviously, a film. A couple more films. Because they're making, well, the 3rd one is coming out either next month or the month after. So after, this is the first one in the series. I've read the first one so many times you wouldn't understand. Next we have the second one, After We Collided. This one, like, film wise, the film was so good. It's so much better than the second one. This is the second one. So much better than the first one. I think it's called, like, they're more matured as actors and actresses, obviously, and it's got so much more, like, in it, you know what I mean? It's got so much more yeah. Yeah, I can't exactly say anything what it's about without going into anything rude, which, not a good idea. Anyway, the next book was my favourite one, After We Fell. Now, this one had a lesbian couple in it, Riley and Lillian, which makes me laugh because, yeah, and I'm blushing now. I won't get into that. But yeah, one of my favourite ones. Yeah. The thing is, it's so chunky as well. Like, look how big this one is. But it's my favourite one. Loved it so much. Then we have After Ever Happy. I cried when reading this one. I did. As much as it kills me to say it, I cried. Yeah. It's so good that it made me cry. I loved it. Then we have my favourite in the whole series, which is Before. Now, this one is in Hardin's, like, point of view, which is everything that he felt during it, which I actually have annotated. This one, which I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but I've annotated this one. Do you ever just open a book and just go and inhale the book just because it smells nice? Yeah, no, just me. Okay. Then all the next books are the ones I'm getting rid of. This first one. The Facts of Life. Rachel Riley almost wakes up and smells the coffee, by Joanna Nadine. I'm getting rid of this one. Don't like it, never liked it, boring. 99 Days. I don't know whether to get rid of this one or not. I've never read it. In fact, I'll probably keep hold of it just to read it, and if I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. This one is by Katie Catugno. Again. Now, Girl Online by Zoella. I used to love these books, but I'm kind of past my phase of liking Girl Online. It's just a bit like, oh, you've liked it, you've read it, now move on. On tour, never read it. Boring. Don't want to read it. And the last one, Going Solo. The fact it's the only hardcover I've got as well, it's irritating me. So I just want to get rid of it, in all honesty. Ooh, it's sticky at the back. Ooh, that's not very... Ooh. Don't like it. That's all. Nice. I stopped for a little drink straight, Dr. Pepper. Anyway, we are on to the last tier now. So, first book we have is, guess what it is? It is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay of the film that came out. So like it's like the original, so it's like proper script. I'll find a double page like that. See? Script. Read it once. It was alright actually. Again, don't know where the cover's gone. That's irritating. My nose is really hurting. Anyway. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We all know who it's by. J.K. Rowling. I love Harry Potter. They're my favourite books. Yeah. The books are better than the film. Can't believe I'm saying that. First time I've actually ever said anything like that. But the books, like, Harry is so much more cockier in the books. Like, he's very funny. So, like, first we have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, if you're in America and can't understand the word philosopher. Sorry, that's very offensive. But I don't care. Next one. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Again, such a good book. Like, yeah. Amazing. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Prisoner of Azkaban. This one again, good book. I've got like all the original versions of them. Because like they were my mum's, but she gave them to me because she knows how much I love Harry Potter. Then we have The Goblet of Fire. It's big boy. Obviously, and the pages are all like falling out. Good book, love it. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. The side's kind of broken. Oops. Again, this one is a hardback. In fact, the others, all the others are hardbacks now, which is sort of irritating. It's like, yeah. Yes, this one is my second favourite film. Not a book, but film. The book is so different to the film though, so it's like very weird and stuff. Yeah, but it's funny near the end. This one, Half-Blood Prince, my favourite film and my favourite book. It's so good. Obviously it's a hardback. Yes. Love it. Then we have the Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. Again, the book's a bit destroyed. This one was one of the best books, like I cried my eyes out from start to finish, because like the amount of deaths in this book, it's like, right, let's kill off every character. There's so many deaths, and it's like, whoa, boy. Yeah, loved it though. Then we have Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Again, I've lost the dust cover to her. But this one as well is like script and screenplay, but it's such a good one. You can act out. Loving it. Then we have some crime and thrillers. So we have Chris Carter, the Crucifix Killer, which you can tell how many times I've read it. The pages are literally on the way to falling out. Like that one just fell out. But this one is my favourite one because I've read it that many times. I know exactly what happens in it, so it's not really a surprise when I read it anymore. So it's like, right, I can predict that. Oh, I know what's happened. Oh, yep, that's happening now. Yeah. The Executioner by, again, Chris Carter. Such a good book. Loved it. It's so good. Then we have the Death Sculptor. Again, very good book. Loved it. And like, this is the 4th book, but I've not got the 3rd one. The 3rd one is The Night Stalker. I haven't got that one yet. But when I do get it, I'll reread the whole entire series just so I can read that one. Then we have One by One. This one was good. I loved it. Oh, then I've got another one that I've not read, which is another one before this one, called The Hunter. Haven't read that one neither. That's one I need to write down on my list. Then we have An Evil Mind, again by Chris Carter. Such a good book. These books are so good. If you're into like crime and like detective work, these books, 100% love them. Then we have I Am Death. Again, such a good book. I remember reading this one when I had my dog Boo, but she was a puppy, because like she's chewed the side of the book to buggery. Yes. And then we have The Caller by Chris Carter. This one was one of the newer ones. When did this come out actually? So this came out in 2017, but there's been like 2 more since then. It's such a good book. Then we have the only hardback one I've got, Gallery of the Dead, again by Chris Carter, obviously. This one came out in 2018, so a year after that one. Yeah, such a good book. Very like, it's got like the writing in it is so big, so it's like good. Them probably our favourite books. I'm doubting whether to show you these other books I've got, but I just will. So next one is Harry Styles' Every Piece of Me. Yep. So it's like a little biography type thing of when he was in the band. So it's like his life before the band and his life in the band. Yeah, this came out, it isn't written by him, obviously. It's written by Louisa Jepson, and it came out in 2013. Yeah. got it for Christmas, that. Then we have Who We Are, again by One Direction. It's a hardcover, obviously, but yeah, this one is like their individual stories, and it is written by them. And the best part about this book, signatures. Love that for me. So if I could, I would get rid of the dust cover and just keep that one because the signatures are there. Yep, so we have that. And then we have another fan fiction called I Sleep Naked. It's a Larry one, which, look at how big that book is. Who's it by? Kayla Blake. It is such a good book, like look. I love it. It's my favourite Larry fiction. In fact, it was the first one I read. It's like I read it and I was like, damn, this is a good book. It's written so beautifully that you forget it's a fan fiction. Like, I love it so much. I mean, there's a few grammar mistakes in it, but other than that, it's perfect. So there are all the books I have, unfortunately. Oh, also for the Chris Carter ones, I did have another one called Written in Blood. I just don't know where it is. If I find it, I'll add that book to the end of this. If not, I'll see you eventually. Bye, boys.